Next video we got is 6 most disturbing Wikipedia articles.
Devil's footprints. According to a Wikipedia article I found, back in 1855 in East and South Devon, England, a weird incident took place that left witnesses pretty confused and disturbed. As the story goes, in February of that year, there was a very heavy snowstorm, and the next morning there were more than 30 reports from different locations in England of a seemingly endless single-file trail of hoof-like prints in the snow. Witnesses of the incident allegedly claimed the prints covered over 100 miles of terrain, which, according to Wikipedia, left a lot of people pretty puzzled as to what had caused them.
So what animal was it?
Strangely, the article also mentions that the hoof prints appeared on rooftops, haystacks, and other obstacles that you normally wouldn't expect animals.
Motherfucker, did they have a reindeer chasing them?
To climb on. As you can imagine, it didn't take long for people to start coming up with wild theories to explain the hoof prints, with many of them claiming they belonged to the devil. I guess because some of the people thought the prints looked like goat prints. Now, obviously there are much more rational theories to explain why these prints could have appeared overnight in so many locations at the same time, and the only reason the Wikipedia article is titled Devil's Footprints in the first place is only because that's the name of the urban legend. And you gotta consider that this theory was probably made up by a bunch of very bored townspeople back in the 1800s.
But believed it, bro.
The article actually mentions that there's very little evidence that the incident—
oh my goodness. This had nothing to do with Diddy.
—even happened in the first place, which in itself is pretty strange. According to Wikipedia, there was some sort of article published back in 1950 where the authors asked anyone with information about the mysterious hoof prints to come forward. And even though the article was published almost 100 years after the alleged incident, Wikipedia says it led to a bunch of papers written by an English man back in the 1850s being discovered. Those papers included letters to friends where the man apparently mentioned the hoof prints multiple times. Interestingly,
and they still think it's the devil?
The man admitted that he made up the story about the prints belonging to a bunch of kangaroos that had supposedly escaped from a rich guy's collection of wild animals to keep the people from thinking the prints actually belonged to the devil. Aside from the made-up superstition that the prints had been left by the devil, there are a couple of more logical theories that surfaced—
I don't believe this one, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
According to a local guy named Major Carter, the prints hadn't been caused by any animal, but by a balloon that had actually been released from a nearby dockyard with the shackles still attached to the ropes, which would explain why they appeared in single file.
Okay, I was about to say, how the f would that even make any sense then? But they just explained it.
Still, skeptics—
what's good, Dolo? How you feeling, man? What's the stream?
Would be for a balloon to travel so far without being stopped by obstacles like trees or houses. Other sources who have researched the incident in depth have clarified that it would have been impossible for the tracks to span anything close to 100 miles, and that this part of the story was probably just made up or greatly exaggerated.
Yes, it gotta be capped.
According to Wikipedia, the other widely accepted theory for the hoof prints is that it could have just been badgers that, for whatever reason, decided to go hunting that evening, as this is the animal that would leave the most similar prints to the ones that people reported seeing. But
those, bro, I don't know, even with the way that he's walking, those prints looked a little bit too spaced out for that. For it to be a badger, bro.
Reasonable explanations, the fact remains that there isn't any conclusive evidence to prove where these hoof prints came from, and this is probably just one of those niche historical events that's going to remain a mystery forever. Belmes Faces.
Belmes Faces.
Belmes is a tiny little village and municipality with less than 3,000
inhabitants. Oh, it happens in Spain.
Cordoba, Spain. It's not really known for anything too extraordinary, except for this one occurrence documented on Wikipedia that talks about something pretty strange that happened there back in the 70s.
What happened?
According to the article, on August 23, 1971, a Belmes resident named Maria Camara claimed that a human face with a creepy expression had appeared out of nowhere on her concrete kitchen floor.
What the fuck?
As per Maria's own—
this bitch just seeing shit.
—testimony, as soon as she saw the face, she was so disturbed, and knowing that she wasn't going to be able to unsee it, she called her husband Juan and their son Miguel, after which they destroyed the face with a pickaxe.
Oh shit, I do see the face. What the fuck? A little bit. It looks like a face right here.
Juan and their son
bottom
Miguel,
right.
After which they destroyed the face with a pickaxe and laid down new concrete. As the story goes, after the new concrete was placed, a new face appeared on the floor just a few days later. The Wikipedia article mentions that at this point, Maria and her family reported the incident to the mayor of Belmes, who ordered the concrete—
I see it, the devil streams on Twitch, the fucking AI devil shit. I think you showed me that, Nick Slick.
—studied. Doing more research on the story, I found that after they removed the second slab of concrete, a bunch of seriously disturbing faces allegedly started appearing all over the house, and pretty soon Maria's house was being advertised to tourists from all over Spain as the House of the Faces. According to Wikipedia, less than 9 months later, hundreds of tourists from all over the country were traveling to Belmes to catch a glimpse of the faces. And apparently the buzz didn't stop there. For the next 3 decades, Maria and her family continued to allege that disturbing faces were appearing all over their house, sometimes in just a matter of seconds and right in front of their eyes. As you can probably guess, because of the amount of attention the house was getting, the authorities decided to carry out some investigations to determine whether Maria
So these faces were just fucking spawning anywhere?
or whether something else was actually taking place at the house. This is where the story starts to get a little strange. Even though several tests were carried out to determine whether or not the faces had been painted on the concrete by hand, the results of a lot of the tests contradicted each other. And to this day, it's still unknown whether or not the faces were painted by Maria and her family. The case even drew the attention of a bunch of paranormal investigators, and a few of them claimed that while they were conducting experiments on the house, they supposedly started hearing voices when there was nobody else in the house, and they allegedly even saw new faces pop out of nowhere on the concrete while they were there. But as it often happens, the authorities accused the investigators of carrying out their experiments without the proper controls and documentation.
It might be a pareidolia. What the fuck is that?
Which took pretty much all the credibility out of what
What's
they
that?
said they found at the house. To this day, nobody really knows where the faces came from, but the most widely accepted theory is that Maria and her family made the whole thing up pretty convincingly and capitalized on the media frenzy for financial gain. To the skeptics, the media is just as much to blame as Maria for publishing so many sensationalist pieces on the house, which made it incredibly difficult for the authorities to carry out the proper tests and get...
Burn the house down on God. Like these random ass faces just popping up everywhere you go, bro. I'd be scared, nigga. Like, what the fuck?
List of unexplained sounds. The content in the Wikipedia article named List of Unexplained Sounds is just as strange as the title suggests. The article is pretty much a list of sounds that have been picked up in remote locations all over the world by the most state-of-the-art hydrophones known to man. For those that don't know, a hydrophone
So just random ass fucking sounds? Oh, wait.
is just an underwater device that detects and records ocean sounds from all directions.
Oh.
As mentioned
I
in
did
the
not know that.
introduction of the article, the sound files had to be sped up.
I thought they were just doing like random ass fucking, I thought they were just getting random sounds like in general, like in the world in general, bruh. Pareidolia is when people see known objects and unknown shapes, kind of like when you see shapes in clouds. Oh, okay,
Times
that
the
makes
original
sense.
speed, and their frequency was also raised.
Here,
to
watching
make them
scary
audible.
Wikipedia pages.
What's so interesting about these sounds is that nobody knows what's causing them, which is kind of disturbing considering they're all coming from remote locations like the bottom of the ocean and far beneath the Earth's surface.
I want to hear one of the sounds though.
For example, one of the unidentified sounds is called upsweep, and it was picked up by the U.S. Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration using its Pacific Ocean Hydrophone Array. As the article mentions, the sound was first discovered when the Pacific Marine Environmental Laboratory began recording with their hydrophone array somewhere in the ocean between New Zealand and South America. If you listen to the sound, which I'll play here in a second, you'll realize why it's called upsweep, as it comes across as a series of sound waves that go from low to high frequency. The Wikipedia article mentions that the sound appears to come and go depending on the season of the year, with the volume reaching its peak in spring and autumn. This is what it sounds like.
Oh, that sounds kind of weird. See, my dumb ass was just thinking like maybe it's just like the wind moving at supersonic speeds type shit, bruh. I think this nigga Stratus just cursed us. I didn't fucking curse y'all, bruh. What do you edit your videos? Sony Vegas, bruh. Shit, Swin J get to the bottom of this with hours. Man, fuck phasmophobia, bruh. Hey, that just sound weird as fuck. I not curse y'all niggas, bro.
As of today, scientists have no idea what this is, or where the sound even comes from, though a few have suggested that upsweep might be caused by underwater volcanic activity. Interestingly, the volume of upsweep has been steadily declining since it was first recorded.
Yeah, the ocean is such a scary fucking place, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Explain. This sound and some of the other sounds in the article themselves are honestly nothing out of the ordinary, but the fact that not even the top researchers in the field have a single clue as to what's causing them is a little disturbing when you really think about it.
Bro, you would think with all the technology we have right now, bro, you would think with all the technology we have right now that we'd be able to get to the bottom of what the fuck this shit is, bro. You trying to tell me that we have sound, we're able to pick up the sounds, but we don't got anything to record what the fuck is making these sounds, bro? Y'all think Alien Cool Valley? Who the fuck is Alien Cool? I mean, we do, but it's like niggas don't even want to get to the bottom of this shit, bro. Like, what the fuck? The Mets game is over, yeah, and then nigga just told me that he'll be back in 1 to 2 hours, bro. So I'm kind of in a pissy mood.
The Anguish Man. There's a Wikipedia article out there titled The Anguish Man, which tells the story of a visually disturbing painting of the same name that's owned by a man from Cumbria, England named Sean Robinson. According to the article, Sean claims the painting fell into the ownership of his grandmother at some point in the distant past, and when she passed away, she allegedly gave it to him. However, as the Wikipedia article explains, the owner insists that this is no ordinary painting, as his grandmother supposedly told him that the artist had mixed his own blood with the paint to make the artwork before taking his life. The story is kind of vague, and I couldn't really find any more information on who the supposed artist was or when the Anguished Man was even painted, which makes the whole thing pretty hard to believe. I did some more research and found other sources where Sean claims his grandmother hid the painting in her attic for over 20 years.
That's a creepy ass painting, I'm not gonna lie.
As the story goes, before giving it to Sean, she mentioned that she had supposedly experienced paranormal activity at her house, with the dark figure of a man suddenly appearing at random times of
the fuck is that? The hell?
The night.
As soon as we get back, you should get McDonald's for real fun though, because I'm gonna want to fucking play this bullshit.
The Wikipedia article also links to Sean's YouTube named The Anguish Man, in which he explains that after inheriting the painting, he and his family allegedly also started experiencing paranormal activity at their house, with the supposed dark figure appearing to them as well in the middle of the night. Sean claims that before inheriting the painting, he was a total skeptic. But after bringing it home, he allegedly started hearing crying noises that got louder and louder every night until eventually he could no longer deny the supposed paranormal activity taking place at his house. Over the years, the painting has caught the attention of several so-called paranormal investigators. Sean's YouTube channel, where he documents the supposed evil activity, has since grown to 20,000 subscribers.
Damn.
In 2017...
But the nigga ain't even post shit for real, bro. You trying to tell me we getting a video every year, bro? Where's the grind, my nigga? Oh, fuck, I muted the video.
And it bought the... He documents the supposed evil activity has since grown to 20,000 subscribers. In 2017, an independent filmmaker was even planning on making a movie on it, and it bought the rights from Sean, but from what I could find, it was either never released or it just wasn't very popular. Overall, I see a lot of red flags that make it pretty clear that the story behind the Anguished Man is fake. For starters, the videos on Sean's YouTube channel where he uploads allegedly real footage of the paranormal activity at his house are all very clearly fabricated. Also, the story behind...
So that gives me even more fucking disbelief in any of these videos when I watch them, bro. Because you have niggas like this that just go ahead... And I already know, like, niggas do this shit because I'm not fucking dumb. But it's like, damn, bro. When you have someone tell you that it's fake and it's proven to be fake, it's like, damn, I can't even think that these are real, bro.
It's so vague and far-fetched that I find it hard to believe it even has a grain of truth to it. I'm more inclined to agree with all the people who have accused Sean of making the artwork with regular paint himself and using the grandmother's story as a cop-out so he wouldn't have to provide more details about the
McDonald's fries are here right now. I was saying the same thing, bro.
The Anguish Man definitely makes for a good scary story, but I find no real reason to think that this is anything other than a creative hoax designed to get attention and maybe a couple of bucks out of a made-up story. Poe Toaster. On October 7th, 1849, Edgar Allan Poe died in Baltimore under pretty mysterious circumstances. According to a Wikipedia article, starting sometime in the 1930s, every morning on the anniversary of Poe's birthday, a man dressed in black carrying a silver-tipped cane with his face almost fully covered by a scarf or hood would somehow sneak into the west.
Bro, I can't believe that niggas was dead-ass dressing like this back in the day, bro. Like, there's no way little niggas was out here in suits and ties all the time and shit like that, bro.
On Poe's birthday, a man dressed in black carrying a silver-tipped cane with his face almost fully covered by a
like, wearing this shit out in public, there was no way niggas was doing that shit, bro.
Would somehow sneak into the Westminster Hall and Burying Ground in Baltimore and find his way to Poe's grave. The article mentions the man would then pour himself a glass of Martell cognac and raise a toast in Poe's honor, after which he would arrange 3 red roses on the gravestone next to his unfinished...
Oh, nah, this nigga was trying to cast a ritual on Edgar Allan Poe. This nigga was trying to make this nigga reincarnate, bro. What the fuck?
Of cognac.
You're trying to resurrect this nigga.
Interestingly, the Poe Toaster, as he became to be known in Baltimore, never sought publicity and would always sneak into the burying ground unnoticed. Every year after his first appearance, a crowd of...
I ain't gonna lie, sneaking in to pay homage to a nigga is crazy. Tooley, that's the nigga I was talking about, Wody.
Onlookers would start to gather on the morning of Poe's birthday to try to catch a glimpse of the man, but he was rarely seen or photographed. In fact, the only photograph
that nigga some
is from a Life magazine July 1990 article called Once Upon a Midnight Dreary, written by Gary Smith. The photograph was captured by Bill Ballenberg, and it shows the Poe Toaster hunched over the gravestone paying his respects to Edgar Allan Poe. Interestingly, the Poe Toaster would sometimes also leave cryptic notes on the gravestone during his visits.
Nah.
For example, in 1993, he left a note saying that the torch would soon be passed, and another one that said, "Edgar, I haven't forgotten you." As it happened, the Poe Toaster was reported to have passed away in 1993.
What's good, Tuli? Welcome back, bro.
He was no longer seen visiting the grave. But after which, the article mentions the tradition of visiting the grave and toasting in Poe's honor was passed on to one of his sons. Unfortunately, it
so this is a fucking generational curse, my nigga. What the fuck is this? So as soon as this nigga died, the other person's gonna do a toast to Edgar Allan Poe shit? What the fuck? Nigga got a curse on these motherfuckers.
Looks like whoever inherited the tradition didn't take it half as seriously as his father, as the post-1998 Poe Toaster would often leave notes.
Yeah, we're doing a marathon, Tuli, and I can't end until we finish this.
His father had never done. At some point between 2005 and 2008, he left a note that was apparently so disappointing that the curator of the Poe House and Museum didn't even show it to the public to protect the original Poe Toaster's honor and legacy, a man whose identity is still unknown to this day. But because this was such a big tradition in Baltimore for 70 years, in 2015 the city organized a competition to select a new Poe Toaster to turn the tradition into more of a tourist-friendly yearly attraction. Since 2016, the new anonymous Poe Toaster has kept up the tradition by visiting Edgar Allan Poe's grave on his birthday and paying his respects in front of the public.
That's low-key weird as fuck. Mystery of Celtic Wood, talk to me.
WIKIPEDIA that talks about the mystery of Celtic Wood, a strange incident that took place back in October 1917. According to the article, during the Battle of Poel Capelle in West Flanders in World War I...
Where the fuck Matt at? He's at a fucking Mets game right now, Supreme, on the fucking date. That nigga told me... Let me tell y'all niggas what the fuck he just said, bro. He said it was dead ass last minute, the Mets are winning. My bad, bro. She said she wanted to do something. I said, let's go to the Mets game as a joke. Now I'm here. 2 hours later, I texted him. I said, you just gotta let a nigga know, bro, because now I gotta sit here and stall for hours on end just for you to come back and for us to get like 2 attempts. He said, damn, I feel bad. I'm the definition of a fraud because I have a meeting tomorrow at 8 a.m. And then I said, when are you getting back? He said 1 or 2 hours. So, yeah.
Battalion of the 1st Australian Division decided to capture Passchendaele Ridge to collapse the German 4th Army. The plan was to raid Celtic Wood, blow up the German dugouts, and then immediately retreat back to safety. Unfortunately, things didn't go exactly as planned, leading to one of the biggest wartime mysteries in history. The article mentions that a little after 5 a.m. on October 9, 7 officers and 78 men of the 10th Battalion began their raid on Celtic Wood.
God, next week.
That's the last time many of them were ever seen. Whatever happened in those woods depends on who you ask, but the general consensus is that the attack was a complete failure. According to the British and Australian wartime newspapers, the attack was considered a victory, but 10th Battalion Commander Maurice Wilder Nelligan, who was there when the whole thing happened, had a completely different take on the events. According to Wikipedia, the commander mentioned that the attack immediately turned into a very violent bloodbath, and that after the raid on Celtic Wood, only 14 unwounded members of the battalion made it back safely. This is where things get a little confusing, as other members of the battalion said 7 men made it back to the Australian lines. Strangely, the article mentions that official army records were able to account for 37 of the 85 battalion members.
God damn, only 37?
Even more mysteriously, after the raid, the bodies of the missing battalion soldiers were never found. Their names didn't even show up on lists of prisoners of war, and the Graves Commission couldn't find any traces of their bodies afterward, which is extremely strange. Different sources have different reports of how many people actually went missing, but it's widely accepted that the true figure is at least 37.
Imagine he didn't go nowhere, he went to use them by himself.
Celtic Wood remained a mystery,
None of my
with
fucking
most
business,
experts
bro.
agreeing that the Germans probably massacred the missing men and buried them in a mass grave. However, Wikipedia mentions that in 2008, researchers Chris Henschke and Robert Kearney claimed to have conclusive evidence that the members of the 10th Battalion had been killed by the Germans in the woods, and that the only reason they couldn't find traces of their bodies was that they had been blown up with their own bombs. When mixed with the remains of the dead German soldiers, this made it impossible to tell Australian soldiers from German soldiers after the fact. In Henschke's own words, the raid wasn't a great mystery, it was the story of a typical small unit action that went wrong. However, not every expert agrees with this conclusion, and to this day, the raid of Celtic Wood remains one of the biggest...
What time he get out tomorrow? He don't got class tomorrow, but he has a meeting at 8. I don't know what fucking meeting he got, but he has some meeting. But W fucking video, bro.